Welcome back. Well, Arizona's controversial immigration law takes effect tomorrow. The law makes it a state crime to be in the United States illegally. It requires police to check on immigration status if they come in contact with a person for a law enforcement reason, who they then suspect is in the U.S. illegally. The Justice Department says that this Arizona state law usurps federal authority. Mexico has asked a U.S. court to declare the law unconstitutional. Joining us now with perspective is Mexico's former president, Vicente Fox. He's president as well of Centro Fox, a nonprofit focused on developing community leaders. He joins us from there right now in Guanajuato, Mexico. Thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. President. In the Mexican press today, there are reports, fears of what a massive deportation could mean for Mexico if this state law does take effect tomorrow in Arizona. What are you hearing? How real is that concern about massive deportations into Mexico?
Okay, well, thank you, Bloomberg. Thank you for this opportunity from here, San Cristobal, this small community where Fox Center, the first presidential library in Mexico and in Latin America, is now operating and building and working on leadership. I think that this decision that was taken by Arizona State, the governor, and the legislature, I think it's a wrong decision. It's a decision against the trend and the work that we've been doing, constructing a very strong, solid relationship between the United States and Mexico. And this decision is going to affect, first of all, the United States, because this labor is really productive, it's high quality, and it's really contributing to the productivity and competitiveness of the U.S. economy. I don't understand why Arizona welcomes Mexican tourism, Mexican people that comes to spend and consume in that state, which comes as tourists, and they now try to limit, on this case of migrants that are working and working hard and making Arizona competitive.
Well, as you know, because you've done a tremendous amount of work on this issue, there are reportedly 11 million illegals in the United States. According to the Pew Center, 59% of them are Mexican. For state governments, municipal governments, they've got tremendous amount of budget strain right now. As you know, the governor of Arizona is concerned about the strain on their budgets because these illegals are receiving aid without necessarily being taxed. So can you understand the concern on the financial front?
Well, yes, and there's a lot of confusion and wrong decisions are being taken because the information is not the right information. Yes, they say they are illegal, but somebody's hiring them.
Right.
They are working for a family, for a business, for government itself. They are even building the wall that is being built in the border, and they're doing an enormous contribution to the U.S. economy. So you cannot deny this. What should be done is to document them. Document all those that are working. Those 11 million are harvesting in California, are harvesting the apples in Washington State, are constructing buildings, constructing homes, working in hospitals as nurses, and they have been hired by somebody in the States, and they are making a lot of profit or benefit for the U.S. economy and for he who specifically is hiring them. So we need to use wisdom. I think xenophobic measures like the one taken by Arizona and its government are totally wrong. We're partners. Maybe that lady, which is governor, doesn't know how much products from Arizona are being exported into Mexico.
Well, the federal government
the
federal government has encouraged the focus on the businesses that are hiring illegals. You know, either way, there is going to be a fair amount of scrutiny of immigration law at this point. Would you be more supportive of the focusing on the corporate sector?
Yeah, and then I wonder what is the intention? Why the leader now, with fear is building walls,
right,
and is limiting the access of labor. What if we do the same thing for U.S. citizens, hundreds of thousands of them that work here in Mexico?
Mr. President,
let them work.
I want to finish this conversation on the other side of this commercial break. Stay with me here, please. Welcome back to In Business. We're continuing our conversation with the former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox, who joins us from his ranch right now. Mr. President, I want to ask you, you've done a lot of work on immigration and looking at the issue of Mexicans living in the United States. They are the third largest source of U.S. dollars for Mexico. When you were president, you worked with the senator from Arizona, John McCain, in part on immigration reform. We're going to show our viewers an ad that is currently running for Senator McCain's campaign, in which he describes his support for the wall being built along the border with Mexico. He says there are home invasions, murder, the drug trade, all of these very fearful things, describing what happens when Mexicans cross the border into the United States. Is this the Senator McCain that you knew?
Okay, there's a big confusion on that, and I'd like to say that Senator McCain, together with Senator Kennedy, were here in Mexico for a week's time when I was president, and we discussed what they were going to submit, that they were going to present to U.S. Congress that bill in relation to migration, and then he was totally in favor, and today he's absolutely contrary to his beliefs before. But there is a big confusion, confusing criminals with Mexican migrants. I mean, that's an obvious difference. Migrants are good people, only looking to improve themselves and their family and looking for a job. Let's not forget that United States is a nation that was built, is being built by migrants.
Right.
That governor in Arizona, that lady, also has a migrant heritage, and she should remember that. Now, let me tell you a message that I heard from Powell, from Secretary of State Powell, in a speech. He says, it's miscited, it's totally wrong that our society, he's speaking about United States, that our public opinion and our government are not building opportunities and preparing that next generation that is going to be leading this great nation. And he was referring to who are minority today and will be majority in just 25 years from now. So that nation should be very open, as always has been, to migration with order, with legality, with documentation, but should have the wisdom to know that the nation enriches itself and should have universities open and open opportunities to prepare that next generation, which are going to be taking
Let me
decisions
ask you
20 years from now.
about violence in Mexico right now, because according to your Attorney General, Mexico has had 24,000 deaths related to organized crime since President Calderon took office in 2006. What is happening in Mexico right now?
Okay, what is happening is that this huge market of the United States in drug consumption, the largest in the world, is generating the weapons that are sold to Mexican cartels, is generating the money that is laundered in United States and brought to Mexico.
It sounds like you're saying the U.S. is responsible for that violence.
Absolutely responsible, same as we in Mexico. We just happen to be in between the drug-producing nations of the South, the Colombias, the Venezuelas,
to leave this on this
the Bolivias,
note, Mr. President. Thank you for joining us.
And the consumer market of the United States.
Thank you.